All right, colleagues, House Bill 1, as you can appreciate, appropriates, the money for the general operating expenses of state government for the next fiscal year. There's one more. As you know, HB 1 and the other budget bills collectively work together to appropriate the funding for the operation of state government. The total state budget that was proposed by the Division of Administration was $48.7 billion. House Bill 1 accounts for $41.4 billion, 85% of that total. House Bill 1 also accounts for $11.1 billion, 93% of the $11.9 billion state general fund spent in the total state budget. The budget that was submitted by the Division of Administration was essentially a standstill budget with minimal changes, which we appreciate. Significant state general fund items already included in the budget are as follows: $4.2 billion for the minimum foundation program, $285 million increase to LDH to replace federal funds that are no longer available due to the public health emergency ending, and from a decrease in projected collections and certain statutory dedications associated with a reduced number of Medicaid enrollees. $122.3 million for acquisitions and major repairs throughout various state agencies. $62.1 million is for the Department of Corrections, and $38.8 million for DOTD. $31.5 million for statewide market rate employee pay raises. $21.9 million to DOTD for maintenance and repairs throughout the state, $10.8 million toward the Office of State Police in order to establish Troop NOLA, $10 million to replace the decreased federal funds in order to keep the Louisiana 4 program whole, and $6.9 million for DCFS to increase the rate for congregate care within the foster care program. Any questions on how the bill was proposed?
Any amendments?
Yeah, I do have amendments. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and hand the amendments out. Okay, I'm going to begin to discuss what the amendments do, and you can continue to look through your explanation and the set of amendments. In the education fund, in the governor's proposal, the teacher stipend was funded at $198 million, but the base level of the funding needed for the MFP was short by $24.3 million. And the budget did not include over $71 million for the additional items requested by Bessie as it was presented originally. In order to fully fund the MFP formula to $71.3 million, was allocated from the teacher stipend plus $24.3 million from the Child Care Assistance Program. $126 million remains for the teacher stipend. The MFP is now fully funded and includes the $30 million for tutoring, $25 million for differentiated compensation, $14 million for mandated cost, and $2 million for apprenticeships and internships. Combined, these initiatives will increase teacher pay in fiscal year 25 by $151 million through the teacher stipends and the differentiated compensation included in the MFP formula. With these amendments, early childhood will be funded at $387.6 million total means of financing, of which $147 million is state general fund. The early childhood funding includes $204 million, $64 million being state general fund for the Child Care Assistance Program. The CCAP program is reduced by $24.3 million from the proposed $51 million, still leaving $26.8 million. $95.5 million, $75.6 million in state general fund is for the LA4 program. $7.8 million state general fund for early childhood development. Other initiatives included in the amendments: $30 million in statutory dedications from the Transportation Trust Fund to DOTD for maintenance and repairs throughout the state. $15 million in statutory dedications for the Fortified Homes Program, $9 million to the Office of State Police for pay increases, a reduction of $9.1 million in Medicaid and State General Fund budgeting for the program, and $4.5 million for the funding for the local housing for adult offenders. The budget that is before you and I'm presenting today utilizes $222 million less dollars in state general funds and $3.72 billion less in total means of financing when compared to the fiscal year 24 existing operating budget. The state budget as a total means of financing for fiscal year 24. This includes state general fund, interagency transfers, fees and self-generated, statutory dedications, and federal funds, had a total of $52.09 billion. For fiscal year 25, including state general fund, interagency transfers, fees and self-generated, statutory dedications, and federal funds, the total state budget will be $48.36 billion. Vice Chairman Hughes for a question.
No, I'll do on the bill. Not on.
Okay. He's still on the bill. I'm sorry, I'm keep pushing your button. Is there any questions on the amendments? Z, did you move favorable? Did you move favorable on the amendment? Okay. Yeah, okay, so Representative Zarang moved favorable on the amendments. Seeing no objection, the amendments are adopted. Back on the bill, Vice Chairman Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me first just say, let me publicly thank Chairman McFarland for the extraordinary leadership and stewardship that he has rendered in guiding this committee. It's at times thankless work, but I've seen the grit, the sweat equity, the countless hours that he's put in. Members, this is my 15th. I've been through 15 budget cycles as a staff member or in my professional capacity, and now this is my 5th budget cycle as a legislator, so this is my 20th budget cycle. And what I've learned about the appropriations process is that this is one step in the process. The budget will not look like it does today once we get to the finish line. There are many things in this current budget that I like. There are a couple things that I find unacceptable. The teacher stipend must get back to the $2,000 place where the executive budget first started. We must restore dollars to early childhood education. And as this budget continues to work through the process, I will continue to work in good faith with my chairman, my speaker, my colleagues in the House and Senate to ensure that that happens. With that said, my vote today will be a vote to move this budget forward. It is not an endorsement of everything that is in this budget, but it is an endorsement of the leadership of Jack McFarland because he has kept an open door, and I know we will continue to negotiate in good faith. And my vote is an endorsement of the leadership of Speaker Philip DeVilliers because he has kept an open door, and I know we will continue to negotiate in good faith. And I know there are many members of the public that are concerned about certain dollars that need to be restored. And I want to make the commitment that we're going to continue to negotiate in good faith as this budget continues to work its way through the process to get those dollars restored. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for your leadership, and I want to thank this extraordinary staff for the many holidays and weekends and long nights that they have worked in putting this budget together. And at the appropriate time, I move to report House Bill 1 favorable.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Hughes, for the kind words. It's appreciated. This is a collective effort by every member in this committee. We did something this year we haven't done in several years. As a member of the Appropriations Committee, I've been serving here for 9 years. Every member had the opportunity to submit their budget. Utilizing the staff and technology, every member had an opportunity to work through the budget and was challenged in each change that they made, how it would affect, and if it didn't balance, then they had to start over. And it is not easy, because many of us sit here and recognize today that although we're presenting a budget, there are some that are going to be here today and leave here today disappointed. There are some that are going to be excited. There are some that's just going to be, well, okay. But for us, it is a significant challenge. For me, I take it very serious. I appreciate the confidence of the Speaker in his appointment as a chairman of Appropriations, but also appreciate the challenge and the respect I have for the colleagues that sit in here who began when others were at home listening to budget presentations and to testimony from the public. The task is not easy. I think many of you, I've sat in here for, like I said, 9 years, and I've heard you come and make some tremendous testimony. But the budget is not finished. This is the first step in the process. Actually, it's the second step. The executive budget is the first. Now we're challenged with leaving here today and going to the House floor. The staff has worked extensive hours and had to answer a lot of questions. Not easy questions. Because believe me, we can really come up with some really tremendous ideas that are questionable. But I appreciate their hard work and the commitment that they've put in. And I can tell you, on Saturday morning, actually it was Sunday morning, it was 1:12 a.m., and I was still getting text messages and emails from our staff. That's the commitment and the time it takes to craft such a budget. Additionally, you see the ladies and gentlemen in the yellow shirts here today. A request was made by ARC about $10 million in funding to increase the night rate to match the day rate. Unfortunately, that was not added at this time in House Bill 1 or in our amendments. Working with them tomorrow, working with the administration and LDH and with Ms. Monroe, and I know she'll come forward in a few minutes and speak, we will coordinate another meeting in our efforts to find a solution to that request. Once again, this is only the second step of a process. We still have several steps left. So I'm encouraged that collectively, just as we hear of concerns for early childhood education funding, we can find avenues to address their concerns to make those night rates match those day rates. Representative Lyons for a question.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was going to talk along those lines, and I also was going to talk about some of the other requests that we had in the children's budget and other things with disabilities as we go forward, looking at where we are with the amount of funding available. So I just want to make sure that we continue to let the public know that we do understand and we've heard all of your requests for all the things that we need to have happen. And because some things were not here at the capacity, we're not going to ignore it. We're not going to stop working on it. I want you to know that, particularly from where I stand as I go through this budget here. So I want to say that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lyons. At this time, I want to read in the cards. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I appreciate the levity. Present in opposition but not wishing to speak. If I say your name incorrectly, I apologize. Emily Posney, Jamie DePlauchin, People First, Kelly Monroe, I'm sorry, Jamie. Okay, present and would like to speak.
Right there.
Hi.
Go ahead, please introduce yourself.
Hi. Oh, use this one? This one is already on. Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Kelly Monroe with the Arc of Louisiana. I am one of the people going to be leaving disappointed today. I've spoken to most of you about the $10.1 million needed to raise the night rate from $13 an hour to $18 an hour, like the day rate is. It's very difficult to find people to work at night. And even though we have to pay them more money, we're losing because there's no way that you can get anybody to work at night for $9 an hour. So we're paying people way more than what we're being reimbursed for. We had a means of finance for this. The Now Waiver Fund is used many times to support increases or special projects or new waiver slots. This time, we weren't able to do that. We do have $108 million in that fund, and so I hope that you guys think about this and reconsider and think about adding that money back in. I don't want to take up too much time because Jamie is with me. She is with People First. I'll let her introduce herself, but she actually receives the service, and I think it'd be way better hearing what these services mean to her than to hear from me. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any of the questions before.
Okay, you have one question, Vice Chairman Hughes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Kelly, thank you for being here. Ms. Jamie, I look forward to your comments. I just want to say, I know you're leaving disappointed today, but I want to reassure you that I hear you. I know Vice Chair Butler hears you. I know every member on this committee hears you. We heard you all when you came to public testimony, and I want you to leave with this reassurance. We're going to give it everything we have to get this money back in.
Thank you.
And I want to give you that commitment. So I know you're disappointed, but I want you to know we hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jamie.
However, hello, my name is Jamie Duplichin. I'm a very active and passionate self-advocate out of Region 4, Lafayette, Acadiana area. Today I'm speaking on not only for myself, but for the organization that I have dedicated myself to and all individuals with disabilities around the state. Thank you all for all that you do because it helps. I received total care. I was injured in a car accident back in 1995 and sustained a spinal cord injury, but I made a promise to myself then that I would live life as though nothing changed. And I can't do it without those supports. I was diagnosed with quadriplegia, but quickly I learned what the state had to offer me. And so I've been living independently, successfully for the last almost 29 years. I have never had a bed sore, but it's because I'm getting proper care at night. Once the sun goes down and my work day's over, my needs don't. They sometimes get more. So I'm asking that you guys please consider bringing the rate up to day pay. I thank you all again for your time.
Thank you. Representative Butler for a question.
Hello, Jamie. How are you? Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I just want to echo what Vice Chairman Hughes said. So this is just the first step, and we're working toward that. And I know our chairman is very involved in that. And I understand total care. My son requires total care. And if I wasn't here, he would need quality care. So we are working toward that. Don't lose hope. And I want you to know that we're all going to get into this together and see what we can do. But thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
That's it. That's all the questions.
Thank you.
Alicia or Olivia Foys? False? Yeah. Yeah, you can come forward. Said present and in opposition but wishing to speak? Also present in opposition would like to speak is Caroline Meehan. She waves. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I am actually Julie False, Olivia's mother. So just to clarify that. I am one of the people leaving disappointed here today. We were requesting an additional $500,000 in state general funds in the DD Council's budget to be used for the Families Helping Family Centers. There is a Families Helping Family Center in every region across the state. And
Can I interrupt
Yes.
you?
Go ahead.
If you'll wait around for the supplemental bill, I think you'll be okay.
I'll be happy.
Yes.
Okay, then. I'm good then. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. So the day's not going to be completely bad. Have a motion by Vice Chairman Hughes to report House Bill 1 as amended favorable. Seeing no objection, House Bill 1 will be reported a favorable as amended. House Bill 782. Ms. Robinson, would you read in the bill?
Mr. Chairman and members, this is House Bill 782, makes supplemental appropriations for fiscal year 23-24.
Thank you. Amendments are being handed out. As you're looking at the amendments, I'm going to go ahead and begin discussing what the amendments do. House Bill 782 appropriates money for expenses in the current fiscal year. The bill in its original form made $8.9 million payment to lasers and a $23.6 million payment to the teacher's retirement. Those uses of 22-23 surplus dollars are required by the Constitution. In the amendment said, you will find a means of finance swap in the medical vendor payments to free up $249 million in state general fund, to replace the $249 million in state general fund with $249 million in statutory dedications from the Medicaid Assistance Trust Fund. $2.9 million to DOTD for highway projects, $15.9 million to GOSEP for project closeouts, $3.5 million to GOSEP for the Louisiana Center for Safe Schools, $750,000 for the Office of the State Public Defender for district defender offices, $7.4 million to crime labs throughout the state, $7 million to domestic violence shelters statewide, $1.2 million for the Patriot Scholarship, $2.7 million in judgments, $3.6 million for the summer SNAP program, or the summer EBT program, $46 million for state aid to local government entities, $14 million to higher education, and additionally, it makes supplemental cash appropriations for House Bill 2. There are many other amendments outside of the general fund adjusting other means of finance. You have a one-page summary of the total changes in funding by the department for all means of finance. There are also amendments to extend certain contractual agreements entered into between the state treasury and locals and non-governmental organizations. Lastly, all appropriations in this bill have been deemed a bona fide obligation of the state, so they are eligible for expenditure in fiscal year 25. Vice Chairman Hughes for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, thank you for your leadership. To our friends from Friends Helping Families, the chairman alluded to the good news that you all were waiting for, and if you look at page 10 of the amendments, the $500,000 is there. Also, something that's really worth celebrating is dollars are being allocated in the supplemental budget for the summer EBT program. That will ensure that our kids are fed during the summer, and local economies in all 64 parishes will directly benefit from those dollars because they will be infused in our local economies. And so really grateful that those dollars have been restored. So, Chairman, at the appropriate time, I'll move to adopt the amendment set.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Hughes. Representative Marcel for a question.
Not a question, more so a statement. Thank you for working to restore the EBT dollars for the summer, the SNAP, and also the domestic violence. I know there's a lot of things in this amendment, but those two were near and dear to my heart, and I certainly thank you for working to restore those, as well as the young lady who gave up her testimony and ran back to her seat. All of these things are important, and moving forward, we're going to continue to work to see how we can fund them a little higher and much better in the state of Louisiana. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Marcel. Seeing no questions, Representative Hughes has moved favorable on the amendments. Seeing no, I'm sorry, set 1801. Vice Chairman Hughes has moved favorable on set 1801 of the amendments. Seeing no opposition, amendment set 1801 is adopted. Do I have a motion on the bill? Vice Chairman Hughes makes a motion to report House Bill 782 as amended favorable. Seeing no opposition, House Bill 782 is as reported favorably as amended. Also, I make a motion that House Bill 782 be made special order number 4 for April 25th. No opposition. I make a motion that staff are authorized to make necessary technical corrections on any adopted amendments. Seeing no opposition,